yeah, we'd be out there until
Scary
very late, yeah.
Yes guys, it's your boy LB.
And I'm Harvey Elliott.
And we're doing Perspectives
For Rising Ballers.
and Playmaker. Harvey, thank you for coming down, mate. Appreciate that. And just take me back to the very beginning. How did you get into football? How did you fall in love with the sport?
Everyone has their own story, and to be fair, it was my dad. My dad got me into football. Took me to my first game when I was 3.
3?
Yeah, and just sort of loved it from there. Obviously, back in the day, you don't really think about it or have memories of playing when you were younger. Yeah, but my dad and my family tell me stories of when I was younger playing in like local teams and for schools or just in the park with family members or friends. But yeah, I mean, ever since then, I've loved it from what I can remember.
It says you joined QPR at a young age. How young were you when you joined QPR?
I think I was 8, signed when I was 9.
8 years old?
Yeah.
Do you know what I was doing when I was 8 years old? Watching TV at 7, going to bed at 8 o'clock. And you were training, working hard, already in the system. That's amazing, man. That's honestly amazing. I rate that so much. You mentioned school earlier and that you joined football quite early. Were you a cage footballer at any point?
Yeah. There was a local park around the corner from the house. So you always used to go around there, whether it was by myself or with my best friend down the road. Yeah, we'd be out there until very late, yeah. And
how do you feel that reflects in your game now?
I think back in the day it was just all about enjoying football, just enjoying the game and getting a love for the game. I think especially playing in those tight areas when there's loads of people there, it helps now when you're in tight areas.
20
in games.
versus 20.
Yeah.
That is football.
So yeah, just to be able to be sort of in and around football like when I was young and playing, as I said, those tight spaces, I feel like it's helped me a lot, and just visually to be able to look up and know what I'm going to do before I get the ball. I think I've always played with older people ever since I was a young kid, so I used to get smashed around a lot, but it all helped me out.
Really strengthens you up as a player. But you spoke about the fact that earlier in your life, football was all about fun. When you got into the academy and you were in the system, what was your best memory throughout that experience?
I've had a lot of good memories, to be fair. I think a highlight for me so far is signing for Liverpool. Being as young of an age as I was to go and sign for a team that me and my family support. So to make them happy and to sort of go and achieve my dream and sign for a team that I've loved ever since I was a younger kid.
It's a dream come true.
Yeah, it is, and still hard to put into words now.
I can only imagine, man. I can only imagine. So what was it like making your debut in the Carabao Cup at such a young age?
To play against Millwall, people don't know they're fans.
Yeah,
they should watch YouTube videos on that. But to be warming up in front of them and hearing what they were saying to me, and I mean, it was, for me personally, it was quite scary, but I just couldn't wait to get on the pitch and play, really. Great achievement and experience for me, so young. And I was actually in school earlier that day, so yeah, have that thought that in school, doing maths and English, going and playing in the night time, it was a day that I couldn't wish to.
What was the day after that when you went back the following day? Everyone was just surrounded.
Yeah. To be fair, I was still tired from the night before. Really, didn't get back until late, but I had to go into school the next day, as you do. But yeah, people were coming up to me and teachers were congratulating me and stuff who've never really spoken to me before. So
the ones that put you in trouble when you were they were like, you're
giving me the pat on the backs and stuff. But nah, it was a great achievement.
And then you went on. I also read that you were the youngest ever Premier League debutant.
Before I left for Liverpool, I made my debut this season of me leaving. I think I was 16 and a few days or whatever it was, but yeah, I mean, these achievements are all great, but for me personally, I don't really think about them too much. It's about the upcoming games and training sessions and just wanting to achieve more things.
So you believe those standards you set, you can far surpass that and break further records? And
yeah, definitely. I think you always need to have a goal and an achievement to aim for, and you just got to keep smashing them.
Since joining Liverpool, I heard you mention that you got a lot of help from Jordan Henderson.
Yeah.
But was there any other players that helped you when joining Liverpool to get used to the system and just the club in general?
We call ourselves a family at Liverpool. So yeah, the younger kids coming up now and training with us, I try and sort of look after them and put my arm around them, because that's what people were doing to me when I joined. So yeah, I mean, I'm grateful for everyone helping me settle in as soon as possible, really. And the main thing they said to me is just go and be yourself, go and play your game, show everyone why you were signed by Liverpool. And that's sort of something that stuck with me throughout my whole career so far, just to express myself and enjoy the game.
So you mentioned about desire in your previous answer. How do you manage to stay motivated? Because for some people, they see your position at such a young age, they would say you've made it already.
I have a saying that I haven't made it until I retire. I mean, there's so many footballers that think they've made it and then drop or something happens. So you always got to stay focused, always got to keep wanting to achieve, and obviously have new goals and try and obviously reach them as quick as you can. Just got to be grateful and appreciative of the opportunities that you get. But yeah, I don't think you can have that feeling of I've made it, because you hear it with so many players. They think they've made it, or they played 1 or 2 games and they take their foot off the gas and then just fade away. So you always got to stay 100% committed and focused on obviously the game and wanting to be a better player as well as a better person.
So being out for so long with injuries, talk about falling off and dropping out of the public eye. How was that, just being injured for so long, being stagnant, watching everyone playing without you and passing you by?
It was very hard. As I said before, my family and friends were there to look after me, pick me up when I was feeling sad and down. But to be fair, I didn't really have much time to think about it. Obviously, seeing the players play and seeing them go to the game and stuff and training on the pitch, it did make me annoyed, but I just wanted to do it all again. But I think now it sort of just gave me the mindset to be even more grateful for the things like training and stuff like that, playing games, because obviously I missed it when I weren't doing it. So
was it an emotional experience scoring in front of the Kop?
Yeah, it was. I think scoring any goal would be emotional to me, but to do it after being injured, having all my family and friends in the crowd as well, yeah, to, as I said, do it on the day I come back, or the first game back, sorry, it meant a lot more, because obviously all the hard work and the early hours and the late nights of getting back to normal and doing the rehab, and then to sort of be rewarded with a goal is always a nice feeling.
You spoke earlier about you going abroad with academies, but recently featuring in the Champions League. What's the biggest difference between the Premier League and the Champions League?
I don't know, it's similar, to be honest. Both obviously great teams in the Prem, and Champions League you're playing the best teams around Europe. But just, I think the atmosphere, San Siro and Italian fans, I've never seen fans as crazy as that in my life. Just throughout the whole game, non-stop singing, waving flags, flares, you name it, it was there. But yeah, I mean, it's a moment of a lifetime. People dream of playing Champions League, but to be able to say I've done it at the San Siro as well, which is an iconic stadium, it just makes it a whole lot better.
Was there a takeaway lesson from that Champions League performance, or just being involved in the Champions League?
Different playing styles to different teams. Like you think they're going to start up in this formation or press you this way, and then they switch it during the game, and it's like, whoa. So I think just to adapt to it quick, sort of get your head around it, and as a team really, I think sometimes we struggled with the way they played and how they played. As I said, you're going to be playing the best teams in Europe, and I think now I've got that game out of the way, next game we're going to be not focused, but I know what I needed to do to put it right next game, and yeah, it's a massive lesson learned, and a great achievement as well.
How important is data for you when you train?
Data is very important for myself. We look at it a lot and we analyse it a lot, so you see how far we've ran, high speeds, how many sprints we've done, even stuff like tracking back. It shows it all.
And does it motivate you in a way, seeing certain stats or comparing to your teammates? Oh, he plays the same position as me, but I didn't run as much as him. Does it really motivate you to do
Yeah, it does. It does, because at the end of the day, you all want to run the same amount of distance. You all want to feel like you've worked as hard as you can. You work hard. That's the most important thing.
How did you join the Playmaker family? How did that come about?
I've used them back in the day with Fulham. We used to use them in training and at the academy days. And yeah, obviously I knew they were a great product. And as I said before, I'm interested in data, so I feel like it will help me a lot in my career and potentially take me that further step in football.
What advice would you give to a player that's still in an academy right now, trying to make their way up to the first team, or just in general in an academy?
As I said before, every person's story is different, to be honest. If you look at the likes of Jamie Vardy and stuff, he's came through late in his career, and he's arguably one of the best strikers in the Prem. So yeah, everyone's career is different. People start younger, but fade away in the future. But people come in the future and cement their spot and keep pushing on. But yeah, I think it's just work hard, commitment to the game, commitment to what you love. I think just, like I said, always trying to aim for goals and objectives and just making sure you try and hit them as best as possible.
And in regards to the Playmaker family, how would you feel using Playmaker? You mentioned how data is important to you. How would you feel using the Playmaker would help a player to improve themselves?
I mean, it's the ins and outs of the game, things that some people might not look at in terms of the weight you put on your left foot compared to your right foot. It will help you in the future as well as could help you from injuries. If you're putting too much weight on one leg, being able to balance it and see what you needed to work on in terms of if I'm stronger on one leg compared to the other. So there's a lot of detail in it, and I think as a player, if you look into it a lot, and like myself, been using it and see the data and what it's used for, you get a bigger picture and see why it helps you a lot.
Thank you for your time, Harvey. Really appreciate it. But this is your final question. You're stranded on a desert island. You can only bring one person, one item, and one food. One dish. What would you bring?
Probably my best friend. But I think my best friend, to have him there, he knows who he is, but yeah, he's the same person as me. So I think personally we would probably get through the stranded desert island together and make a laugh and a joke about it. One item, probably my phone.
On an island?
If I have service. If not, then a football.
No way.
And then my favourite dish, spaghetti bolognese.
That's valid. That is valid, fair enough.
Yeah.
And that's time. Thank you for coming, Harvey. Really appreciate your time. Best of luck with the rest of the season, brother. Yeah?
Appreciate it. Thank you for having me.